Yo, what is going on, guys? TymeStopper here, coming back at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we're going to talk about this weekend's upcoming 10x event and the guaranteed champion that they're bringing out for this weekend. We've got some solid champions in this 10x, but the guaranteed champion is someone you won't want to miss. So let's jump into the video. Okay, guys, first and foremost, let's run through these 10x champions rather quick. I won't keep you guys too long. And the theme of this 10x is fear. So first and foremost, we have Banner Lords. We have, where are you at? Masked Fearmonger, the Jason looking guy himself. Not a super exciting champion. Not someone I would probably build out. He has this interesting revive on death, block debuffs. He can put up some fears and true fears, but not even someone that I would build for faction wars, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to waste your time talking about him too much. Next up, we have another newer champion, and this is Cecilia. Now, Cecilia sort of fits with the fear theme, but her biggest problem is that she literally has one of the weakest CC abilities in the game in her kit, and that's sleep. She has this strange, like, sleep your own champion stuff going on and everything, and whenever they lose sleep, they can potentially get feared, but of the CC abilities, sleep is the weakest because as soon as you hit someone that is slept, they're going to wake up. So they lose that CC ability. So again, not someone that I would sweat a whole lot worrying about. And next up, we're going to have someone from the Knights Rev, a newer champion that no one really paid any attention to, honestly, when he first came out. And that's Farsalus Gravedirt. Now, this dude is a pretty cool looking champion. Shield is second to none. I mean, look at this thing. This is massive. Fits with the Knight Rev, obviously. Kind of a bucket head looking dude. I'm not sure if that's a bucket or a thimble or what it is, but he has this passive where he's immune to fear and true fear. Whenever an ally's HP drops below 50% from an enemy attack, has a 50% chance of placing fear on the attacker for one turn. Whenever an ally dies, has a 75% chance of placing true fear. So he's CCing everybody. He has a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. He actually has the weak version of Strengthen. I think this is probably one of the only champions that we've seen that actually carries that weak version. He has this heal reduction on his A2. No one really cares. And then on his A1, he has a little bit of provoke, decrease attack. So, of course, he's got a lot of CC going on. Haven't built this guy. He looks like he could have a pretty interesting kit. Not sure on his multipliers yet or anything like that, but he is a pretty new champion. And then we're going to move on to one of my favorite champions by far, and that is going to be in the Sacred Order, and that is going to be my man, Inquisitor Shamal. Now, this guy hits like a truck. He is Void Affinity first and foremost, which means that no weak hits, and he has this interesting passive where each critical hit fills his turn meter by 7.5%. Whenever an ally receives fear or true fear debuff from an enemy, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the ally's turn meter by 15%. So basically, it makes it almost impossible to fear them. Now, he also, his A2 is his big ability. He attacks one enemy 3 times, so great for going up against like Rhodos in the Doom Tower or in Arena. He ignores 25% of the target's defense, will ignore a further 25% for each buff on this champion, and he places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. So, awesome ability. I use him massively. I have mine in immunity, so I use him in Arena if I'm going up against like a Torment team or something like that. Just knocks Torment right out, no problem. His A1, he's got attacks one enemy, 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. Even this A1 ability hits pretty hard. The counterattacks only do, partial damage and things like that, but this is a great ability because every time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, he uses this skill. So if you're in Arena and let's say Madame Serris debuffs your entire team, she puts up, 8 debuffs? he's going to actually hit her a ton of times with this A1 because she just debuffed your team. So great champion. Awesome. Next up, we're going to move on to the legendary. First up, we've got Elder Scarg. Elder Scarg arguably is one of the hardest hitting single target damage dealers in the game, with some caveats. And that is because of the way his kit reads out. First off, he has this passive where he receives 15% less damage from legendary champions, inflicts damage equal to this champion's attack when attacked by legendary champions. The extra hit cannot be critical. His A3 ability, however, places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns, places a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, places a true fear debuff for 1 turn on targets under block damage buffs, places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on targets under shield buffs. These debuffs cannot be resisted. Also places a provoke debuff on legendary champions for 1 turn. So he's got fears, true fears, provokes, speed, you name it, right? Here is his ability, though. This is the one that hits super hard. So he attacks 1 enemy 3 times, plus places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target, can place up to 3 extra hits. So if the enemy has 3 buffs or debuffs, that means he can hit up to 6 times against the enemy on this ability. Places an HP burn debuff for 2 turns and a true fear debuff for 1 turn on all enemies if the attack places all 3 extra hits. Steals all the buffs from the target after the attack. So not only is he going to go in there and hit them 6 times, he's going to steal all their buffs afterwards. All right, next up, oh, this is a terrible champion. Definitely wouldn't pull for this guy, and that is Noble. I've actually pulled 2 Nobles now already. Haven't built one of them yet. His multipliers are trash. He's an attack champion. You know what? He doesn't even deserve for me to read his kit. We're moving on. Yeah, we're not even reading his kit because the next champion up is going to be one of the best champions in the entire game. And it is none other than Myssal. This guy is awesome. So much utility is unbelievable. I mean, Faction Wars alone, he can CC the entire Valk wave, right? He enables things in Clan Boss that no other champion can, and that's because he grants extra turns to himself, puts increased speeds up, and in Arena, he is like a CC god. And it's mostly because of the way his kit does. So on his A2, first up, he's going to place a 30% increased speed and a 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. He then places a true fear and a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And he has the magic 4 words that we love. That's right, grants an extra turn. So then he comes back with his A2 ability, right? Attacks 1 enemy, 80% chance of stealing all buffs from the target before attacking, places a heal reduction debuff for 2 turns, also places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on this champion for 3 turns. Damage increases by 50% against targets that have no buffs. The reason this is so powerful is because this is on a 4-turn cooldown. It reduces down to 3 turns, but because it grants an extra turn, it's basically on a 2-turn cooldown every time he runs this ability. So he's going to run this, he's going to run this, he's going to take 1 shot on his A1, and then he's going to be right back to his A2, A3 cycle again. But even his A1 is super strong, especially in Arena where you already have everybody CC'd up, because he's going to attack 1 enemy, heals the champion by 30% of the damage inflicted, but then he's also going to attack all other enemies under leech debuffs. So if he's put up the leech debuff on the other enemies already, he's going to get another attack against them. Awesome champion. Someone that, if you don't have, would be an awesome champion for anybody's collection. And then last up is going to be a fairly new champion, but this guy has taken over in the arena to a different level. He is like Skull Crown on some other level, basically, right? Everybody knows Skull Crown in arena because she's annoying. She takes a bunch of damage. She puts up a unkillable buff on herself, and then people can keep hitting her, and then she gets to hit and she smacks. Well, Leoreous, our next champion up, is very similar. One, he's in Skinwalkers, so you already know anything that hits hard in Skinwalkers is good because that faction is already hurting, right? But this is really where it's at. His passive instantly activates an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn before receiving a fatal hit. So you go to kill him and he puts up the unkillable, right? He also has this second passive that says damage increases as the champion's HP decreases by 1% for every 1% of HP lost. So basically, you go up against this guy, you smack him, he puts up the unkillable, he has no HP left, and then when he comes back at you, he is going to hit you super hard. His A3 attacks all enemies, 80% chance of placing True Fear for 1 turn. Before attacking, has an 80% chance, books to 100% of placing a Weaken debuff. So he's going to put up a Weaken debuff. He's already got the boost to his damage, and he's going to smack the living daylights out of you, basically. His A2 attacks all enemies. He's immune to stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear when the skill's not on cooldown. Say what? And, of course, he's got his A1 where he can put up a decreased defense. But this guy hits hard. Did I say he hits hard? Because, I mean, he hits hard. All right, enough about that. Now, really the big money event here, and this is, I mean, this is going to catch some people to literally go out and probably pay their rent late, maybe mortgage their house. I don't know. Okay, it's only 30 shards, but you get the idea. We have a guaranteed champion event for none other than the Dark Elf herself, Madam Serris. That's right. Let me read it out to you. It says, we're also planning to launch a guaranteed champion event. It's going to be launched simultaneously with the 10x events. Summon champions using void shards while the event is active, and you're guaranteed to get Madam Serris on your 30th void shard. Now, Madam Serris is easily one of the best arena champions in the entire game, bar none. I got super lucky when I first started and pulled 3 Madam Serris and insta-built all of them because she is that good a champion. She will carry you in arena. She has this pretty unique passive where she places shield buff equal to 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. Not a big deal because you don't really build her for HP. When attacked while under the shield buff, though, has a 35% chance of placing a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. So this can be kind of fun to mess with people in arena. But her A3 is really where it's all at. She's going to remove all buffs from the enemies. So as long as you build her with enough accuracy, she's literally going to remove every single buff from the enemy. It doesn't matter what they have on them. She's then going to place a decreased attack on them and a decreased defense on them for 2 turns. It's on a 6-turn cooldown, books to 4 turns, so it's okay. But generally, you're only going to use this once. You're going to come in there with your Arbiter or your Speed Lead. You're going to bring in maybe a booster or someone, and then your Madam Serris. She's going to strip everybody's buffs off, put up the decrease attack, and then you're just going to nuke and go to town. 30 Void Shards for Madam Serris. If I didn't already have her, I would 100% be pulling for Madam Serris, and I think you're going to find almost everybody that doesn't have Madam Serris is going to be pulling for her too. Some may say that she's sort of dead in arena, but I 100% disagree. Yes, she doesn't get used on defense anymore as much, but she is still 100% used on offense all the time, especially against these tanky units. You just build her with as much accuracy and speed tuner as you can, and you just go to town. Of course, she has this A2, which is pretty cool as well. She attacks all enemies, 40% chance of stealing a random buff, places block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns if any buff is stolen, and places a true fear buff for 1 turn on enemies who have buffs stolen. So if she is able to steal your buffs, then she's going to put true fear up. She's going to place a block debuff, and then she has her A1 where she attacks 1 enemy, 20% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn. Awesome champion, definitely well worth it. Like I said, if I didn't already have Madam Serris, I would 100% be pulling 30 Void Shards to get a Madam Serris. It's a shame you can't pull for 2 or 3, to be quite honest with you. But guys, listen, that's about it for the weekend that we got so far. Big 10x coming up. Guaranteed Madam Serris. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys going to be pulling for Madam Serris? Do you have a Madam Serris? And are you still using her in arena? Because I still regularly use 2 of them. I have one that's regularly built just for general content. And then I also have a second one that's in immunity right now. So Madam Serris, awesome champion, guaranteed this weekend. I guess it's time to pull some shards, guys. But let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to be pulling for the 10x this weekend, or are you just going for the guaranteed Madame Serris if you don't already have one? As always, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, as always, until next time, be good.